Yo, today we're diving right into Conquest. We've got a number of Conquest maps out there in MLB The Show 21, and I want to give you some tips and tricks to help you get through Conquest as quickly as possible. The things not to do, what to do, and some things to look out for as well. So with that, let's jump right into today's video. So here we are in MLB The Show 21 in the Diamond Dynasty mode. If you're not familiar with Conquest, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what Conquest is. So let's jump over to it. I'm going to use the second inning Conquest map as an example. Just a heads up, I am currently working on the US map for the Albert Pujols card. So almost done with that, just about close to halfway through there, so I'll be dropping a video on that. But we'll be diving into the second inning Martian Conquest map as an example for today's video. You can see I've already completed it, but just to give you a quick overview on Conquest, if you're not familiar with it, Conquest is a lot like Risk, if you're familiar with the board game, or there's a number of PC games out there as well for Risk, and there's a number of spin-offs of it as well. But essentially, it's a war game, if you will, where you collect territories. In the realm of Risk, you collect warriors or soldiers, if you will. But in terms of Conquest, you are collecting fans. So you want to collect as many fans as possible, and then jump into taking over strongholds as well. So that is what Conquest is in a nutshell. So let's talk about the things not to do. What you don't want to do is start just going and on the attack immediately. Most people jump into Conquest and they do exactly this. They simply start taking over territories, they go right at an opponent, and then they find an area where they can attack, and then they click this button and they say, hey, let's play this game. That is really what you don't want to do. You do not want to go on the attack immediately. You also do not want to spread yourself too thin. So let me restart this. You don't want to spread yourself too thin in the sense of going at multiple strongholds at the same time. You want to be on a driven path to one stronghold and essentially strangle them, so you have the best odds to beat that opponent on the easiest difficulty possible, so you're not spending a whole lot of time replaying games, and you can get through the map as quickly as possible. So those are the things not to do. Well, actually, there's one last one that I think throws some people off, and this is it right here. I'm just going to go ahead and skip to the Steal Fans phase, and the Steal Fans phase allows you to pick an opponent to play a game against. Now, this one can be a to-do, and it could be a not-to-do. I will tell you probably 90% of the time, it's a not-to-do. And here's why. It's a waste of your time. It's a game that doesn't mean anything unless there's some type of goal or achievement, or maybe you're working on the evolution cards. Whether if you just need to get games, feel free to play Steal's Fans, okay? But understand, when you go after the stronghold, you're going to get the games anyway. But if you need additional games, feel free to play Steal Fans. Or, here's the other scenario, and we're going to look at the goals for this particular map. There's actually a goal for this particular map to abduct 3 million fans via the Steal Fans phase. So you want to go through the Steal Fans phase in order to get those fans, right? If there's a goal, and if you see benefit in completing that goal, okay? And the reason that piece is important, I'm going to go back here to the national map. Here, if we look at the goals for the national map, technically speaking, the Steal Fans goals, there's 3 of them, aren't worthwhile. Why? Because yeah, you get a little bit of stubs. Sure, you get some XP, but you'll make that up in other areas of playing the game, and you don't need to spend the time to get 15 million fans stolen. Here's the other piece as it pertains to this particular Conquest map. It's not required for you to get the Albert Pujols card, right? The requirement for the Albert Pujols card is right here, which is to capture all the strongholds on the map. So unless one of these goals is pertinent to you as it pertains to the Steal Fans phase, never, ever, ever play a Steal Fans phase goal. So that covers the things not to do. So now I'm going to show you actually what you should be doing. So now I'm going to show you what you should be doing within Conquest to save you the most amount of time, to get the most benefit out of Conquest, and as well as to complete these maps as quickly as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and restart this map. So we have a clean plate. What you want to do first, the very first thing you want to do, again, do not go on the attack. You want to amass as many territories as possible. Okay, so I'm actually going to create a circle around me first. And why am I doing that? Because I want to ensure that I have a buffer around my stronghold. Okay, so you can do that in whatever manner you see fit, but you want to make sure you have a buffer around your stronghold. And then once you have that buffer, you want to go ahead and basically start creating a wall towards an opponent. So you can see now that I have no more fans to distribute within another territory, now I am being offered the Steal Fans phase. It will advance automatically. Again, do not play the Steal Fans phase. Go ahead and hit the options button on PS5 and hit skip to reinforce. I think the button is start on Xbox or whatever may have you, but go ahead and hit skip to the reinforcement phase. Now, the reinforcement phase is super, super important. I would argue this is the most important phase within the Conquest realm. And the reason being is it goes back to my initial suggestion of amassing as many territories as possible, because the amount of territories you have is a direct correlation to the amount of reinforcements you will be able to redistribute at this particular phase. So you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, we have 3 reinforcements that we can distribute. So I always distribute, and I would suggest you do this, distribute them all in one spot, because you're just going to be moving on a direct route to your opponent, so you can suffocate them in that process. Then you get into the move fans phase. Right now, you can hit square on PS5, or if you're on, or I should say PlayStation in general. If you're on Xbox, I believe it would be X that you would press, and you can see how many fans are at each stronghold within the map. Now, you can see all of our strongholds only have one fan. So there's no fans for us to move. However, in a scenario where maybe you have 10 fans either at this stronghold, or maybe you have 10 fans at a territory, whatever may have you, and you don't need those fans to be there, you can now move those fans over to the spot where you want them to be. Here's the catch about the move fans phase. You can only move fans one time. So if you think you're going to, I've made this mistake plenty of times, if you think you're going to move 2 fans from here and 2 fans from here, you're not going to be able to do that, not in one phase. Okay, so the move fans phase is a one-time opportunity to move those fans from there. You get the move fans phase every time you cycle through, but you only have the opportunity to move a subset of fans at one time during each move fans phase. So because we don't have that, we're just going to hit options and go to skip to attack phase. So again, we're going to continue down our path. We are going to amass as many territories as possible. And you can see the CPU isn't doing a whole lot, right? They're not doing a whole lot. They're not going to come and attack you very aggressively. On the national map, it can get a little testy if you don't do it the right way. But these tips are all applicable to all of the Conquest maps. I'm just using this one as an example because there's a number of strongholds and there's a great deal of space for you to cover. So now, again, we're in the steal fans phase because we ran out of fans to distribute. So we're going to skip. We don't have any fans to move. So we are now here in the reinforcement phase, we're now in the reinforcement phase. So let's go ahead and throw these here. So you can see now that we have more territories, we now have an additional fan in our reinforcement to distribute. We don't have anybody to move, so we're going to skip that. And now we're back here. So again, we are going to create a wall. Right now, I am moving directly towards the Dodgers. So you want to stay on a path that's directly at one of your opponents on the map. You do not want to spread yourself too thin. So yes, sure, I could go towards the Angels and I could start that path, but that's not going to necessarily help me throughout this process. So we want to continue moving over here, okay? So we're going to skip the steal fans phase. We're going to reinforce this territory. And then we are going to skip the move fans phase because we just don't have any fans to move. So let's continue down this path. You can see that they are moving towards me. So we are going to get to that point. We're going to skip the steal fans phase. We're going to reinforce at this spot. And then we don't have any fans to move. So we're going to skip that. And now we are now in our first position to attack. So there's a significant imbalance in the ratio here. We have 7 fans in this territory. They have 1 in the territory that we're going to attack. So we are going to get the highest odds, or I should say some of the highest odds to win this game in a simulation. We're not going to play this game. There's zero purpose in playing this game. It's an absolute waste of your time. So you are going to simulate this, and I highly, highly suggest until you get later on in the map, only simulate when you have a high chance of winning that game. And it will tell you if you have a high, a medium, a low chance. And it's all based on the number of fans you have versus the territory that you are looking to attack. So you can see we overcame that territory because we won that battle, if you will. Now we have 3 fans and it's 3-1. This is a medium winning chance opportunity. We can take this. And I would argue probably 75% of the time you're going to get a win out of it. But I wouldn't suggest it, especially at this point in time within the map. So because of that, we are going to skip to the steal fans phase. And then we are going to skip back to reinforcements. And now we are going to reinforce this particular territory. Actually, you know what we're going to do here, because you can't go backwards. So actually, we'll go down this path. I'll show you how this works. So now we're in the moves fans phase. We don't have any fans to move. This will be a great opportunity to show you how to use the move fans phase. So we're going to, now we have 10-1. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We have a high probability of winning through the simulation. So we just wait for this animation to end. And now we've amassed that. And now we have this wall. But we can't move anywhere because our 8 fans are in a corner, right? We can't attack one of our own territories. So it's automatically advanced me to the steal fans phase. Now we will skip to the reinforcement phase. And I'm actually going to come over here. You can see the Angels are progressing towards us. So we're going to play a little bit of defense before we go on offense here. And I'm actually going to come in here and reinforce this particular spot right here. Now we have an opportunity to move fans. You can see we've got 9 here, and then over in this spot that we just left, we have 8. So I'm actually going to move all 8 of these fans into this spot right here. Okay, this is a perfect opportunity to showcase that, because that's exactly how you want to do it. We have this wall on the left-hand side, which is over by the Dodgers. And yes, we are going to play the Dodgers. We are going to bridge through that. However, we're going to play a little bit of defense here and amass some more territories so we can have more fans as we reinforce. So because of the way that the Angels have attacked me here, or they've come into the general vicinity of potentially attacking, I'm actually going to take this spot out. I'm going to remove these 2 fans that they have and give myself some buffer away from my stronghold. And you can see the Dodgers are trying to attack me there, but because because they only had 3 fans to my 1, they had a medium chance of winning that game. And in turn, they didn't win that game. So we still maintain our territories in that area. So we are going to go ahead and start amassing more territories here. So we're just going to push the Angels back. We're going to go through this process. Bear with me. I want you to see this live. I'm not going to use some YouTube magic and kind of cut this up. I want you to see how this process is done. Because it can be a daunting process if you're not familiar with it. So I'm actually going to go ahead and take out this spot here and attack them here. And again, these don't really do anything. It's just pulling fans away from them and taking over the territory. But this is going to allow me to have this wall against them. And you're going to see we're going to get in this spot. It automatically progresses because we can't go anywhere else. We can't go anywhere else. So let's skip. Let's reinforce. I'm actually going to reinforce down here so we can get all of the territory that's south of where I'm at again, so we can have more reinforcements. You can see we've got 11 reinforcements here that we can distribute. So I'm going to put them all down here. We're going to move these 8 into this territory, and then we are going to continue to progress down here. We're going to put up these blocks and basically create that wall of buffer against the Angels. And sure, they may attack. You might get attacked on that edge, but that's okay. Go ahead and get attacked on that edge. It doesn't matter. It's not going to change a whole lot for you because you have that buffer between you and the stronghold. So I'm just cutting this off right now. I'm creating these walls here so we have an opportunity to progress forward. So now we have our base foundation of territories available to us. Then we have them set. Now this is the next important step. This is again another to do. What you want to do now in your reinforcement phase, start anywhere you have a wall against an opponent. Go ahead and start putting some fans there, right? Go ahead and start putting some fans there. I would suggest you want to get these to 4 fans. We're going to do these a little bit at a time, just so we have that buffer. But you want to get these walls up to 4 fans. And it may require you to skip. You may go through a few phases where you're not attacking, okay? Just to get this foundation set. Because what this foundation does is it protects your original stronghold, okay? And it stops the original stronghold from potentially getting attacked, and it stops you from potentially losing territories just in general. It stops you from having to recover territories. So now we're going to do our move fans. Now remember, again, you can only move fans 1 time in this phase. So I'm actually going to move them into here because I'm going to utilize this particular territory as my attacking territory when we move forward into the Dodgers territory. So let's skip, because I want to make sure the walls that I have set up have 4 fans. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that now. You can see we're just distributing. And sure, this seems like a daunting process, but trust me, once the foundation is set, this will save you so much time in completing Conquest, because you won't have to go back and do things. Okay, so we ran out of fans there. We have no fans to move. So we're just going to skip. We're not going to attack right now. We're going to skip. You can see the computer's making some moves. You can hit square. You'll see it is an option to hit square to progress. I haven't seen that work very well. It doesn't really simulate very well. So we're going to skip to reinforce. And now, again, we're just going to continue to distribute these fans. Sorry, we need to go over. We're going to continue to distribute these fans on the outer limits of our foundational territories. Anywhere where you can be attacked. I'm actually not going to put any more fans up here. This is a corner, can't be attacked there. And now with these additional 6, I'm just going to put them all in this territory. So now we can go back on the attack. We're 13. Whoops, sorry. This is you know what? We're going to actually move a fan because that territory can't be attacked, so it's safe. So let's go ahead, and now we can go on the attack. So we got 14-4. Let's see what our odds are. The medium. You can take that chance if you want. There's really no purpose in doing so. We're not at that point in in the Conquest map to do so. So let's just skip. We'll just skip. And we're just going to throw all of our fans in here. So now we'll have 29 fans right here. This will give us, sorry, we're not going to move anybody. Let's skip. This should give us high odds. So now we can just go ahead and simulate this. And now we are going to go on a deliberate attack to the Dodgers. So no longer are we building our foundation. You can see they are now attacking, which is perfectly fine. You know what? That actually gives us an advantage because they removed four of their fans from a spot to take over one of our territories. And now we're back. If you look at this corner here, we're back to 2-1 and 1-1. So they actually hurt themselves by doing that. Perfectly fine. Thank you for doing that. So now we will continue to attack. And here's what we're going to do. We're not going to take all of the Dodgers territories just yet. We're going to go straight at the stronghold. But I'm going to show you how to do that. What you want to do, again, remember at the beginning of the video, I said you want to suffocate the opponent. Okay, so you want to create a buffer around their stronghold. They will not attack you from their stronghold unless there's another avenue for them to go. And what I mean by that is if you suffocate them and you give them no option of recourse but to stay where they're at, then they will not attack you with their stronghold, because when you attack, all of your fans except for one move into the new territory if it results in a win. So we're simply going to take all of our fans here and surround them so they have no other option. That also cuts off reinforcements from being placed into these other territories because they're no longer connected. And that's actually a piece for you to watch out for, because if you allow, and this is why we create this foundation, if you allow an opponent to circumvent a path between your territories and you no longer have connectivity to your territory, then you will lose the ability to place fans, move fans into those areas. You can still attack from those areas, but if you don't have the fans there to begin with, then you don't have any attack to be done. You can see here for the Dodgers, they can attack with these these three territories. The problem is they only have 3 fans maximum in any of these territories. So they're not going to win any of those battles. So now that we have suffocated the stronghold, we're actually going to skip. Technically, we could go on the attack here. 14 fans against their 16 million fans. And you can see we get all-star difficulty. If you want to play on all-star, be my guest. Me personally, I like to take the easy route because, again, this channel is built for the 9-to-5 gamer, the individual that has a job or spends time with their kids or does whatever, or is building their business or running their business, whatever may have you. The core essence of your time is not spent playing the game. So I'm trying to give you the tips and tricks that are necessary for you to get through this as quickly as possible and as easy as possible. So we're not going to play on All-Star. We are actually going to skip to the still fans phase. Then we're going to skip to the reinforcement phase, and we are going to put all of our reinforcements in this spot. We don't have any, well, we actually do have fans to move. Now that we've created our stronghold and now this one here is freed up, we're actually going to move these 3 fans. But again, you can't move all of them because you always have to leave one there. But we're going to move these 3 fans into here. So now we have 34-18. So let's see what our odds are here. I don't think we're going to get rookie on this on this ratio. Yeah, we get veteran. So again, you can play on veteran. Me, I'm not going to play on veteran. I'm going to skip. And they're going to attack us. So you can see they took some of our fans. So they attacked us. And they're trying to attack us again. And they're trying to do it again. So they're trying to figure out a way to get us out of this space. And this is actually good that you're seeing this. So now you can see I'm disconnected from my largest territory. Perfectly fine. We're going to skip to reinforcements, and we are going to reinforce. We're going to reinforce right here, actually, because, again, we can't reinforce over here because I allowed them to break that link. And I probably should have threw a fan or 2 in there to avoid this. But these are the things that you have to watch out for, because they will go on the defense and they will start attacking you. In some of those scenarios, they might win, okay? Now, again, in theory, it would be great if we could move fans, but we can't move fans because we're not connected to this territory anymore. So we're actually going to go ahead and progress into the attack phase. I am going to take this spot here, move it here. We're going to get this territory back. And honestly, we're actually going to go ahead and take out these other territories that are here as well, simply because they are trying to be aggressive, and we're going to take these out. We're just going to go ahead and remove them. Sure, there's only one fan. There's really no reason for us to do it because they won't win a battle against us in that scenario. But we're going to go ahead and remove them because it hurts them in the reinforcement phase because we're taking those territories. So now we're going to skip into steel fans, and you can see they're not attacking because they just don't have the resources to do so. Now we will reinforce here, and we will move these 14 million fans into here, and now it is 52-12, and we are going to have a high probability to getting rookie. Now you can play this game on rookie and have an easy game. I'm going to tell you, these games take 15 minutes, roughly 15 minutes for you to complete all of these. If you follow that methodology time and time again across all of these Conquest maps, I can almost guarantee you will not have to replay a game unless something goes wrong in a rookie game or whatever may have you, but you won't have to replay a game. Sure, you may have to go back and conquer some additional territories, but fact of the matter is, if you build that foundation and you stay focused in a particular direction of an opponent, I guarantee you will have more success in completing these Conquest maps as opposed to bouncing around, dealing with your strongholds getting taken, and so on and so forth. So build that foundation, and again, get as many territories as possible to start. Do not start attacking until you have that foundation. Build your wall. Build that wall to 4 million fans in each territory on that wall, so your opponent can't encroach on your territory, and then completely suffocate one stronghold. Get it to rookie level of difficulty. Play that game. Takes 12 to 15 minutes. Get out of that and replicate. Do it all again. So that's how you want to run through Conquest. I will be putting another video together as soon as I finish the national map. That should be done here within the next day or two, I assume, as to the progress that I've been having with that. So we should see that here shortly. Some additional pieces coming. We've got some new Top Shot videos coming out here. Some new packs have been released, so I'll be pushing that out. But again, if you like the video, if you saw this beneficial and you think this content is helping you to get a little bit more of your time back, but still enjoy and being competitive at video games, please hit that red subscribe button and share this video with a friend or a family member that may see a benefit. Other than that, I appreciate you joining me, and I'm out.